the mat to the right of your right thigh and knee. So your elbow and forearm are on the mat. Make sure your left sit bone stays rooted into the mat. Take your left arm over your ear. Make sure that you're stretching your oblique. It's just a gentle stretch. Breathe in as you lengthen your spine. Breathe out, reach a little bit deeper. Breathe in, lengthen your spine. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out, reach a little bit deeper. And then slowly return to center. Take your left forearm and elbow and place it on the mat to the left of your left thigh and knee. Keep your right sit bone rooted into the mat. Right arm over your right ear. Breathe in, lengthen your spine. Breathe out, reach your right fingertips towards the left side of your left arm and mat. Exhale. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Slowly return to center. Take your arms over your head. Fingertips are pointing towards the ceiling. Just reach up as you exhale. So inhale, exhale, reach your fingertips a little bit further towards the ceiling. Breathe in one more time. Breathe out. Keep your sit bones rooted into the mat as you lower your arms in front of you. You could do it as slowly or as quickly as you like. Keep your sit bones rooted into the mat. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, walk your arms out a little bit further in front. Try to lower your face to the mat or floor in front of you. It doesn't have to touch. Breathe in, lengthen, and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And then slowly return, roll back up. So for this activity, you don't have to use any kind of prop. If you have a strap or mat that's nearby, great. If not, you don't have to. But we're going to do a shoulder stretch. So we'll take our right arm and we'll place it behind our shoulder and we'll walk it down our back. We'll take our left arm and we'll walk it up our back. Your hands don't have to touch. If you have a strap, you can use the strap. If you don't, it's perfectly fine. I didn't tell you ahead of time. So wherever you're at, breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, walk your arms a little tiny bit closer to each other. Breathe in and breathe out. Slowly take your arms out and let's do the same thing on the opposite side. Your left arm goes over your left shoulder and your right arm walks up your back till it almost meets. Breathe in, lengthen your spine. Breathe out. Try to get your arms to be a little closer. Breathe in. Breathe out a little closer. Breathe in and breathe out. And then slowly release them. Shake them out if you wish. Nice. Do a few shoulder rolls. A few shoulder rolls towards the back of your mat. And then again towards the front of your mat. And we can now do some neck rolls. So we can draw circles towards the right shoulder and the back, left and front, and do a couple more times at your own pace. And now let's try to go in the other direction. And whenever you're ready, let's meet back in our seated position. Take your time. Nice. We'll now transition into a tabletop. So for tabletop position, you're going to go on all fours, your hands and knees, your back is flat. So your shoulders are directly over your wrists. Your shoulders are over your elbows are over your wrists. Your knees are at hips width distance and your back is flat. Just kind of check in with yourself in terms of breath to see where you're at. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. We'll take a couple of cat-cow positions. So for cat position, I invite you to tuck your belly button into your spine as you lower your tailbone toward the mat and you lower your head toward the mat. So your back is like it's like a hump, like a camel's hump. Really try to stretch out your core. If you want, you could wiggle from side to side. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. Now for cow pose, I invite you to lower your belly button towards the mat, lift your head, lift your tailbone. And now your back is like a letter U. Feel free to move your hips from side to side, stretch out if you wish. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's take an alternate cat position. So your feet, your toes can either be tucked in or they can be flat on the mat. For cat and cow, it's more of a back stretch. Let's go back into our cat position. Lower your head, lower your tailbone, tuck your belly button in towards your spine. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. Cow position, tailbone lifts, belly button drops. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. I now invite you to take some independent cat-cow poses at your own. Just monitor your breath. Let the breath guide your movement. Make sure you're stretching your back and your spine. And go at your own pace. Nice. Okay. And whenever you're ready, let's return back to a tabletop. We're going to do a little bit of core work. We'll work it in. I invite you to root your left palm into the mat and your right knee into the mat on your inhale. As you exhale, I invite you to take your right arm in front of you and your left leg behind you. And wherever you're at, try to keep your body in a straight line. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Slowly return your right palm and your left knee to the mat. We're now going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Root your right palm into the mat. Root your left knee into the mat. On the inhale, exhale, take your left arm in front of you and your right leg behind you. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. Try to make sure that your left thigh or your standing thigh is straight. Breathe in and out. And slowly return back to your tabletop. So for the next shape, I invite you to touch your toes together. Walk your knees towards the outer edges of the mat. Slowly lower your tailbone towards your heels. So your tailbone is sitting on your heels. Walk your arms in front of you for child's pose. Take your forehead to the mat. One modification, you could take your hands and place them behind your neck. Child's pose is a resting pose. It's also a full body stretch. Let's take a few breaths here together. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. Very slowly, let's return back to our tabletop. You might find that your arms are a little further away. Your legs are spread out a little further out, more than they were before. And very slowly, inhale, root your palms into the mat and your toes into the mat. Exhale, lift your tailbone towards the ceiling for downward dog. For many of you, this might be your first downward dog of the day. Your body's in an upside down V. Your legs do not have to be perfectly straight and your heels do not have to touch the mat. I invite you to pedal your heels down one at a time. I do recommend that your tailbone is towards the ceiling. And one thing I do for positioning is I bend my knees so that my chest is close to my thighs. And then I lift my hips a little bit higher. Beautiful. Robin, just lower your shoulders a little bit. And take a couple of breaths in. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay. And whenever you're ready, I invite you to walk to the front of your mat at your own pace, and you're in a forward fold. Okay, so in forward fold, your knees are bent, your thighs are on your chest, your head is towards your knees. And I invite you to slowly roll up into a standing mountain pose at your own pace. As I was reading the room a little bit, I invite you to do a couple of wrist rolls. So let's take our wrists, draw circles with them while we're in our standing pose. So it's a modified standing mountain pose. And we're just drawing circles with our wrists toward the outer edges of our mat. And then in the opposite direction towards the inside of our mat. Okay. And now let's resume our standing mountain pose stance. So for standing mountain pose, your feet are rooted into the mat. Your back is straight. Your arms are alongside of you. You can either keep your eyes open, gentle gaze, or keep them shut. And breathe. Just breathe for a couple of moments. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. Take your arms over your head into an extended mountain pose. So extended mountain pose, your fingertips are pointing towards the ceiling. Your back is perfectly straight. Inhale, reach your fingertips towards the sky. Exhale, take a gentle back bend, maybe an inch, maybe a half inch. Breathe in, and we're back into extended mountain pose. Breathe out, hinge at the hips, lower back down into a forward fold. Swan dive your hands. Nice. Breathe in, take your hands to shins, halfway lift, flat back. And slowly roll back up to a standing mountain. Breathe in, arms are over your head for an extended mountain pose. Breathe out, gentle back bend. Breathe in, extended mountain pose. Breathe out, swan dive down, forward fold. Breathe in, hands on shins, halfway lift, flat back. Breathe out, roll back up to a standing mountain pose. Nice. One last time, breathe in, arms are over your head for an extended mountain pose. Breathe out, gentle back bend. Breathe in, extended mountain pose. Breathe out, swan dive down, back into your forward fold. This time, breathe in, root your palms into the mat. Take your left leg to the back of the mat for a lunge. So for low lunge, your thigh is parallel to the mat and your knee is bent at a 90-degree angle. You're most welcome to take your back knee to the mat. Okay. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and slowly meet your left leg back at the front of the mat to meet your right foot, and you're back in your forward fold. Nice. Breathe in, arms are over your head for an extended mountain pose. Gentle back bend. Breathe in, extended mountain pose. Breathe out, swan dive down, forward fold. Breathe in, root your palms into the mat. This time, take your right leg to the back of the mat for lunge on the opposite side. Okay, yogi's choice. You can keep your knee off the mat or take your knee to the mat. The choice is yours. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, root your palms into the mat. Breathe out, left leg meets the right leg in a plank pose. If yogi's choice, you may take your knees to the mat and/or you can take your elbows to the mat. Okay, breathe in and breathe out. I'm going to show both. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, and I invite you to lift your hips back towards the ceiling into downward dog. Okay, if at any time you wish to take child's pose, please, it's always available to you. Breathe in, root your palms into the mat. Breathe out, slide your shoulders over your elbows and wrists back into plank. You may take your knees to the mat, or you could take your elbows to the mat, or you could take both to the mat. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay, breathe in, root your toes into the mat, lift your tailbone towards the ceiling, back into downward dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, right leg lifts into a downward dog split. So downward dog split means that your hips are square, your left hip is towards the back of the mat, your right hip is towards the front of the mat. And then take your right leg back to the front of the mat. I see Casey. Hello, Casey. Very good to see you. Maybe Hershey will come out. I invite you to roll down your back foot and slowly lift your chest off your thigh into a warrior two. So warrior two means that your thigh is parallel to the mat. You can take your arms just straight Modification, you could keep your front leg straight. Okay. So yogi's choice. If your front knee is bent, you want to keep your front knee bent at a 90-degree angle. And there's an imaginary line between your front heel and the middle of your back foot. If your leg is straight, that's fine too. I invite you to take a look at your front fingers and make sure that you're looking straight at your middle finger, and then quickly glance back at your back hand or your left middle finger. Okay, and let's take a couple of breaths here. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. So for extended side angle, if your front knee is bent, I invite you to take your right elbow, place it on your right knee, and left arm goes over your left ear. If your leg is straight, it's the same thing, but your legs are straight. So we're stretching our obliques. Just want to make sure that your feet are firmly rooted into the mat and that you're breathing. Breathe in and breathe out. Another modification, you're welcome to take your right hand and place it to the mat. Breathe in and out. Okay. Inhale, exhale back into warrior two. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, take your left arm down your left leg. Right arm is over your face for what we call a reverse warrior or a peaceful warrior. Your front knee can stay bent or it can be straight, yogi's choice. Make sure there's a gentle back bend. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and you're back into your warrior two. Okay, cartwheel your hands back to the mat into a lunge. Right leg meets the left leg in plank. You may take your knees to the mat or keep them off the mat or keep them on the mat, yogi's choice. Lower down, lower your chest to the mat. Make sure that your hands are directly under your shoulders. Tops of your thighs are rooted into the mat. Inhale, let's take what's called a baby cobra. So for baby cobra, you're lifting your head and shoulders off the mat. Your belly's rooted into the mat. Your thighs are rooted into the mat. Tops of your feet are rooted into the mat. And you're feeling a gentle stretch in your lower back. Okay. I now invite you to take a child's pose. So what that means is you tuck your toes into the mat on your next inhale. Exhale, walk your knees towards the outer edges of your mat as you lower your hips towards your heels and walk your arms out in front of you. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Very slowly inhale back into a tabletop. Inhale as you root your toes into the mat. Exhale, lift your tailbone towards the ceiling for downward dog. Breathe in, lift your left leg towards the ceiling for a downward dog split. Exhale, take your left leg to the front of the mat for a lunge. Roll down your back foot. Inhale, exhale, lift your chest off your thigh, and we're now going to cartwheel our arms out for warrior two on the opposite side. You can keep your legs straight or bent. Yogi's choice. I'm going to show it both ways. Do try to make sure that you're staring at your left middle finger in front of you and your right middle finger behind you. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, take your left elbow place it right on top of your left knee for extended side angle. Right arm goes over your head. I'm going to switch sides so I can actually watch you and show you from the front for extended side angle. Modification, you can take your left hand to the mat and your knee can stay straight. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. Now let's take a reverse warrior, reverse warrior. So from extended side angle, we now take our left arm over our face, walk your right hand down your back leg. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. Whenever you're ready, come back into your warrior two. Cartwheel your arms to the mat for lunge. Left leg meets the right leg in plank. And again, you may take your hands and knees to the mat, yogi's choice, or you could stay off the mat. Lower everything down all in one piece. Take one cheek to the mat and sigh. Nice breath. Inhale, face your face towards the front of the mat, look in front of you, and I invite you to take another cobra as we have a moment ago. Gentle stretch in your back. So your palms are right underneath your shoulders. There's a gentle stretch in your lower back. If you wish to go higher, you're welcome to push up a little bit higher. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Lower your opposite cheek to the mat as you exhale. I invite you to now roll on to your back. So we're on our backs. Let's take our arms into a T formation or cross formation. Your right leg is extended in front of you. Inhale, take your left knee to your chest. Exhale, take your left knee to the right side of your mat. It does not have to reach the floor. Look over at your left palm for a supine spinal twist. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. And then slowly return your left foot to the mat. We're now going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Extend your left leg in front of you. Bend your right knee. You might need to move towards the right side of your mat. Inhale, take your right knee to your chest. Exhale, right knee towards the left side of your mat and look over at your right hand. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Slowly return back to a seated position. I now invite you to extend your legs in front of you. If there's anything you wish to do before we go into Shavasana, now is the time. I'm going to model a happy baby. And a happy baby means that the entire upper back is rooted into the mat as you bend your legs at the knees and you grab your ankles. You can gently rock from side to side. Your knees and feet do not have to touch the mat or floor. It's a nice way to stretch your back out. And then if there's anything else that you wish to do, Before we go into a final rest, I invite you to now do that. For some of you, that might be a plow. And a plow means that your legs are going over your head. For some of you, that might be a shoulder stand. Wherever you're at, take a final breath. And then slowly lower everything down to the mat as you prepare for Shavasana, final rest. So in final rest, the entire back of your body is rooted into the mat. Your arms are alongside of you, and your feet are spread a little bit wider at the edges of the mat. And you're just going to take a few breaths. You're welcome to keep your eyes open or shut. If you're going to keep your eyes open, I just ask that you keep a gaze on one focal point. And just take a few moments to breathe and think about the movement that we've engaged in over the past 34 minutes. Whenever you're ready, I invite you to roll onto the right side of your mat. Your knees are bent in a fetal position. Your right arm is extended in front of you, so your head is essentially resting on your right bicep. And your left hand is in front of you, getting ready to push up. If your eyes were shut, feel free to open them and shut them in a fluttering way. If your eyes were open, please select a new focal point. And whenever you're ready, feel free to slowly push back up into a seated position. I thank you for showing up on a Sunday morning. I thank you for showing up for yourselves, and I thank you for showing up for me. I'm going to offer this class every Sunday. It's a beginner flow from about 9 to 9:30. I'm looking at my clock that says 10:40. And this is my class, even though I'm on a DOE Zoom. So I'm going to say namaste. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to hang around for a few minutes. If any of you have questions or if you want to talk or hang out, I am here. Have a great day. And thank you so much for showing up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Meredith, so good to see you. Oh my
Good
God.
to see you.
Missed you all.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, my heart is beaming, Ursula.
Oh, thank you.
It really is. Thank you. Thank you so much.